Good boy.
Greetings, welcome to Doc Dog and Disabilities. Today's topic is surviving the holidays as a neurospicy person. What is neurospicy? It's neurodivergent is anywhere on the spectrum, and ADHD. Anything that makes the brain work differently, perceive things differently, have sensory overloads, all of the above. Things like brain injuries can actually do this as well. There's lots of different mental disorders that also cause the person to have to think differently or work differently than the typical individual. So that's neurodivergent. Why are the holidays upsetting or stressful for the neurodivergent? Well, these are people that most of the time run on routine, and the holidays is anything but routine. It's going to parties and having to go see family members that you don't ever talk to or really know. It's people going back and forth crazy, decorating, wrapping up presents, and like just everything changes around this time. And that is unnerving for the neurodivergent person, especially since the neurodivergent brain gets sensory overload. So all the lights, all the different colors of the wrapping paper, all, being in a loud crowd, it's the music playing, it's just a lot for the neurodivergent individual, and it's very stressful. So how can we survive and even thrive during the holidays? Well, I have some suggestions. First and foremost, the most important thing that you can do is prioritize your own well-being. And I know this is very difficult for a lot of neurodivergent individuals, especially if you've been neurodivergent your entire life and you've been masking this whole time, and so you feel obligated to do all the things you've been doing all these years, even though it's torturous to you, even though it harms your well-being, even though you are, dead for weeks on end afterwards, and meltdowns and shutdowns, and nobody wants that, right? Nobody likes it. The people who are neurotypical get all frustrated with the neurodivergent person who is overloaded, overwhelmed, and end up having a meltdown or a shutdown. And then, for the neurodivergent person, it's also very difficult when that happens. We don't like having a meltdown, or we don't like acting up or doing whatever we're doing, but our bodies and our brains just can't handle that. So prioritize yourself. If you can't do something, if you're too triggered, don't go to the party. Go for a walk, be by yourself if you have to, but prioritize your own well-being. And how are you going to do that this year? How do you make sure to maintain your own self-care and say no to the things that you can't handle this year? We're going to do a few things. First of all, we're going to make a list. Make a list of the trigger things about the holidays, the things you don't like, the things that you always have an overload of, experience. Put it in 3 different categories. The first will be things you don't really like, but you can handle even if you are low in energy. And then the things that you don't like and you can only handle without melting down if you have enough energy. And then the last one is, this is a huge trigger for you, and no matter how much energy you have, there's no way that you can handle this without having a meltdown. Put that list to the side. Next, create a list of fun things that you enjoy, things that revitalize you. Reading a book, having a certain treat, coloring, whatever it is, write all of that down. And especially the things that you can do, even if it's not traditionally a holiday thing, it doesn't matter. Just things that you can do, especially if you are not at home or in an unfamiliar place. Write all of those things. Okay, now we have 2 lists. Next, another thing that causes a lot of stress and anxiety for the neurodivergent is change. Change from your routine. There's so much change in the holidays. Like, everything gets decorated. There's so many parties and expectations, and just create a schedule. for yourself. And this schedule, you are going to make it as close to your routine as possible. So that means getting up at the same time, eating the same times, eating whatever it is that you usually eat at the same time. So you don't have to eat the holiday things. So write all of those. Make it as close to your routine as possible. And then next, you're going to add as many things from the fun list as you can, especially sandwiching it around an activity that you are going to go do, but you know is going to be more stressful for you. So like going to see parents or going to a friend's party, coworker party, anything. So you have all of that. Then from the list, the triggery list, leave all the things out that is absolutely no, you can't handle this without melting down. Don't put that on the list. Don't do it. Just say no. And I know that's like super, super hard, but again, nothing is worth harming yourself over. Okay. And the people in your life, if they actually care about you, even if they don't understand, they will be okay with you taking care of yourself. And if they're not okay with that, then is it really a big deal that you are letting them down or whatever it is? Because if they don't care about you, why are you trying to respect their needs? Yeah, leave all of those off the list. You're not going to do that this year. Then put a few of the other things. I would suggest not doing more than 1 or 2 really stress heavy things, because you want to reserve your energy. You want to also schedule it in a way that you can have rest in between anything more stressful. And that can be being off by yourself, take a walk, whatever it is that you need. It's doing those fun things that you like to rejuvenate and bring back some of that energy or reserve that energy so that you can handle the more stressful things. And then you have a schedule, right? Follow that schedule for your holidays. And how are you going to make sure you followed that? Well, you're going to have to tell your friends and family and everybody that this is your schedule. This is what you feel like you can handle this holidays. You really are trying to work on your self-care. Practice saying no. Practice telling them, hey, thanks for the invite, but this year I'm really just swamped with things and I can't go to XYZ party, right? If you have to, write a list of things that you can say to people when they're like, hey, are you coming to whatever, where you're effectively, politely saying, no, I can't go do that thing this year, maybe next year. And then next, what you want to do is, if you are going to go to an unfamiliar place or even a familiar place that is just going to be crazy chaos because it's the holidays, make sure when you get there, find a safe place that you can be, where you can leave the party or kind of just be off to yourself to de-stress during the time. Like if you start having that stress response, go to your safe space. So now that you have your safe space and you have your schedule, there are some things on that schedule that you put where you're like, well, I can probably do it if I have enough energy. Okay, cool. Or there's things that you think that you could have done, but then like when you actually get there, you're just like, no, this isn't working for me. You're going to have an exit strategies. And to do that, already plan what you're going to say. Or even before even going, saying, hey, I'm going to show up, but if I start not feeling well, I'm going to have to go home early. Whatever it is that you want to say. And then I would also suggest confiding in someone that you trust to have them run interference so that you don't have to, in the moment when something is really stressing you out and somebody comes and you're just like, I can't talk to this person, have some sort of signal or something. So this trusted individual can actually take care of you and make sure that you have that buffer zone. And also even confide in them to help you with your exit strategy. Maybe maybe you just leave and they're the ones that are going to tell them, hey, he wasn't feeling well, he went home. Or practice saying, hey, I don't feel good, I'm going to go home. Whatever it is, whatever works for you, just have all of that in place. Because this is a little bit like when someone who has anxiety and they are prescribed fast-acting anti-anxiety medications, often just having a few of those with you makes it so that you don't have a panic attack, because you're like, okay, I have this exit strategy. I have this way out if I need to, make sure you have that. Make sure because then you can actually enjoy a lot more and a lot longer if you're not overly stressed, if you have enough sleep, if you had your special food that you needed on the right time, if you did your stimming that you needed, whatever it is, you're going to have a lot less stress. And I'm going to reiterate this because it's so important. Prioritize your own well-being. So I know how hard that is, but it's so important because your health, your well-being, your mental well-being, it's not worth going to some holiday party and talking to some like relative that you that you don't even like. Take care of yourself. And the next suggestion I have to you is make sure you have a bag of self-care items in it, whether that be fidget toys or the book that you want to read, coloring materials or knitting, whatever it is that you like to do or need to do, your medications, and snacks, whatever you need. Make sure it's in that bag and that you always have it, because it's important to have access to these things when you need it. And if you're starting to have stress and you don't have that with you, it's going to be 100 times worse, because then you're like, great, I need this and it's not here, and then it's going to be more stress if you don't do that. So go ahead and keep your self-care items with you. Practice saying no without feeling guilty, because you deserve better. You deserve to take care of yourself. And then just make sure you have enough rest before and after, especially around the stressful times. Like if you have to sleep for an hour before you go to a party, okay, do that. Don't overdo it. Don't push yourself. When you start to feel that stress, leave. Go to your safe spot. Take a walk. Be on your own so that you can calm down, regulate yourself so that it doesn't boil up and then you have a meltdown or a shutdown and you're basically useless for hours or days or weeks because you can't do anything. Take care of yourself. Have your self-care with you. Take the rest that you need. Don't let the pressure of the outside expectations get to you. Say no. If you cannot handle it, don't do it. If you do this, you're going to have a lot less stress and anxiety, and you're going to not only survive but thrive in your holiday season. And hit the link below for a holiday guide ebook that I created. You can download it for free. It has resources. It has suggestions on how to regulate yourself. There's meditation examples. There's examples of how to say no to your family. There's all this stuff. Download it and use it. Have a good holiday. Like, you have to have a different mindset in order for this to work. Make sure that you remind yourself, hey, I'm just as important. My needs are just as important as everyone else's. I don't deserve to be tortured just because everybody else has expectations of me. I am a person who has needs and wants, and it's okay to take care of them. Affirmations, again, also in that ebook. So go ahead and grab that. And yeah, until next time, remember, you are valid, you are worthy, and you are enough. All right. Bye, guys.